Hey everybody, Adam Savage in my cave with Matthew Winchell and Grogu. Dude, did you see the Pedro Pascal interview where he accidentally called it Baby Yoda and then felt
I saw it.
super terrible about it?
Yeah.
It's not Baby Yoda, it's Grogu. Matthew and I have spent portions of every day for the last few weeks adjusting and modifying and tuning this guy. He can now move with his feet, tilt with his hips, move his arms, and we'd love to just give you a compendium of what he can do. So let's fire him up. You want to?
So we're gonna turn on the radio first.
Yep.
And then once that's on, we can then turn on the animatronic. So you're good?
You always turn the radio on first. You don't want the animatronic grabbing somebody else's signal. Okay, so I've turned him on.
Yep, it'll take a moment, but he should jolt. Any moment. Oh, there we go.
Goes. All right, took a second.
Okay, so.
Why don't you walk me through the so what we've got here is two joysticks that can move. They can also twist, and there's also push buttons in top. Those are the primary interfaces. Secondarily, there are pots that move that move this way. And so these are all the sort of dynamic controls. And then with these switches, we can give different modes to the joysticks. So this can operate the eyes in one mode. It can operate walking in another mode. That's the overview.
Right. And because we've put this all in one controller, which we'll talk about more later, I've had to kind of get clever with what stick controls what and the option of switching to different modes.
Right.
So in its most basic form, this right stick is mainly for gross head movement. Okay. So if I start moving the animatronic around, you'll notice that if his head goes down, his ears go down. If I lift his head up, the eyes will track with the ears as well. And then if I spin, the eyes will lead in that direction.
The eyes leading for the neck turn is such a like a conscious animal thing. It's amazing.
Yeah, and then if you spin and also include a blink, it looks way more natural, right?
Because we blink at the end of a movement like that, right?
Exactly, okay. Yeah. It just makes it feel more attuned to how a human creature of the type would work.
So just to be clear, like we've been trying out different stuff and then messing around with him and playing around and trying to add in things. So first there was just basic head tilt, and then Matthew added in ears come up when the head's up, ears go down. And across all of these stick functions, we're trying to combine stuff so that there's more like some gestural. So there's head tilt and, oh man, okay. So you want to talk about the eye stick? This one's blowing my mind.
The left stick is actually what you can really adjust. So the very first position on this switch allows you to control the lid movement. So if I start moving around the stick, you'll notice that the upper lids are separated to the kind of up and down of the stick, and then the side to side of the stick controls kind of the lower lids. So you can, close it all the way or do a partial blink, or you can kind of lift up his lids a bit, or kind of scrunch them down and maybe make them look angry.
There's a lot of expressions in there. There's like distrustful. There's like I've eaten something that's not good to me kind of expressions.
Yeah, and then
also I will say when you do a head tilt, the eyes move first, but with the left stick, you can override the eyes.
Yes.
So that you get, see that? You get some really interesting stuff going on there.
Yeah, and a really important feature, so you have the ability to do more manual blinks, but you have a button. So if you just press it, it'll do a full blink.
It's crazy how good that is.
And it's interesting. In the show, we were talking about this previously, he doesn't do full blinks often.
No, I actually slowed down and frame it on the show, and the eyes come to about halfway, and you fill in the rest.
Yeah, so you can kind of just do this lightly with the stick and get the partials, or if you want the full, you can do this. And then we have ears. So if I move this lever on the side, it'll control the ear pitch, but then if I kind of back all the way through the lever, we mixed it so the ear yaw engages.
So this is right. This is pitch. So pitch is up and down. Yaw is front and back here.
Yep.
And we could put this on two separate controls, but it wouldn't. It's again, the real Grogu is puppeted by 4 to 5 people, depending on the take and the needs. Each one is hitting their marks. We're trying to bring all of that brain trust into a single sort of more intuitive control. And that's why we thought the ears could be like down is one thing, and then up and back is another. Again, if you gave me another pod, I might want to add another mode of functionality.
But we are limited to this controller, and so we're trying to make the best of it. But if I kind of scooch over to this right side, we have this lever dedicated to mouth open. So very basically, you can just open the jaw and the lower lip, and they're tied together. But the middle position of this lever has more articulated control over the chewing.
Okay, show me some chewing.
Yeah, so
I haven't really. So he's got 3 separate servos that control 3?
Yeah, exactly. So this one controls lower lip. We have this one controls jaw, and then the twist controls upper lip. And so if you want to do your chewing motion, you can totally just kind of go in there and start mixing it around.
Crumbs falling
Exactly, or he's eating his macaron or whatever.
Okay, so let's get to arms and legs. Nobody's seen us move those very much yet.
Yes, so if I move these 2 switches to the middle position, I'll have control over the arms.
And the arms are just, these are literally the Sideshow puppet arms just stuck on armature wire.
And that'll change at some
point,
will
change.
Right?
We're going to cast them at some point, but
great.
Not today.
The one thing that's still being worked on but is really close is the walk cycle. Yeah. So just down below here, you can kind of see these wheels, and there are 2 of them, so 1 on each side. And
I just want to say the walk cycle is, the wheels are going to move him like this, but also there's a hip twist, there's a little arm movement, and there's a little neck going on. So you worked for hours and hours and hours on this.
Yeah, and the 2 guys who built the software package, Chris Stroud and Neal Hutchison, work tirelessly to create an interface that we can engage with.
We'll include a link to their stuff in the description. You should know about it. They've been really dynamic with us, allowing us their software allows us a huge amount of control between what this says and what this does with what this says.
Exactly. They call it Kinesma, but it's a really intuitive piece of software that I've been engaging with, and hopefully I'll pass it on to you so you can start tinkering.
Okay, let's walk.
Let's walk. So if I engage the stick, he'll kind of do a small shuffle, and then as I bring the stick more forward, you can start seeing his arms move around more. And it's really funny because I tuned the wheels on your ground, but because it's so uneven.
Well, he's sitting, the tabletop is a bearing surface, so it's very slippery for
so
him.
Depending on what surface it moves on, it'll kind of move differently. So in this case, it kind of leans a little bit to the right. So if we want to tune it to this table, I would go in with the software.
There's a lot of work still left to do on this. There's a lot of little things to tune. We want these leg servos, feet servos to move a bit faster. But we are now at the spot where we've kind of done everything we can do with him. And we wanted a professional assessment of where we are and where we could go. So we brought in friend of Tested and puppet master Michael Schupbach, known affectionately among his friends as Shoop, to come and talk to us and assess and give us some guidance.
Hey guys!
I think it's a perfect entrance.
Love it.
Took you out there.
Dude, so good to see you. Shoop, you have produced stuff like this for giant corporations that are nervous about their IP.
Yeah.
You know the pain of getting a character to slot into what it needs to look like.
Yeah.
I'm curious. I've been dying to show you this, and I'm just like, I want you to take it in and give us some assessment and guidance.
Great. This is really, I think you nailed it. With a character like this, you really have to nail the IP. Like the outside has to look exactly identical to what the audience expects on their screen.
Yeah.
So that means that you're a slave to the form factor of it. You can't, if you need a joint here and it sticks out, can't do that.
You're right.
You have to fit everything within not only just the skin, but I'm sure there's an inner skull on there.
Yep.
And then I've heard mentioned, I want to hear the final number of servos on this thing.
Oh God, I think
it's 24 total.
I think 22 to 24. I'm forgetting the exact number, but between that range.
Right.
Yeah.
In my work with animatronics, like anything over 16 is considered stressful.
Yes. Especially in the head alone, where there's I want to say 15 to 16.
Yeah, that from what I've been seeing of the expressions that you're doing, I'm really curious to see how you were able to get everything in there. I think you guys, correct me if I'm wrong, but this silicone skin is really thin, so you're not moving too much material around, so you can probably get the smaller motors in there.
Yeah, so I believe on average, the thickness is around 3/16. Okay. Our good friend Nicholas Winstead did the casting of this. It's in a Platsil gel type of material. It's a silicone material.
It's a silicone material with a bunch of deadener in it.
Yes.
And it's differentially deadened depending on where it is.
Wow. Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
Great.
Yes.
Great. I'm going to call you guys on the carpet a little. Are the ears translucent?
Yes, they are.
Yes. Very convenient.
Here we go.
let's
You're
go.
asking for our favorite feature to be demonstrated.
Oh.
There are veins in the freaking ears,
Come
man.
on.
So-
no, it's ridiculous. There you
This
go.
is painted by Ryan Pintar, really talented painter, and he did such a beautiful job on this.
So you guys painted in opaque.
Matt was there. I wasn't.
I can't really discuss specifically how
okay.
it was done, but I will say it was magic. It was magic.
Just certified dark magic.
Exactly.
It's also glued in with very few points. There's like glue points here, but
Yeah, so almost all the glue points are in the front of the animatronic. There's basically none back here, so you can easily slip it out and do some maintenance. I've done that before.
which it took Matthew 5 different configurations to get the ear wires to not look terrible. It wasn't just to look better. It was like they looked terrible until they were perfect.
Right, because we actually had to make a nice bend kind of down this way so it drooped, and which is why when you bring down the ears in this configuration, they kind of curl.
Oh wow.
And that was a really nice side effect of just messing around with the ear rods. Yeah.
And that's, from a performer point of view, the fact that not only do you get the movement, but now you've got a character moment.
Right.
That's
Right.
not so much
Yeah,
down.
yeah,
That is more of a
especially-
protective. All
Yeah,
right. So
yeah.
already, just by virtue of how you're attaching the skin and where you're putting the motors, you begin to get these abilities to emote.
Exactly. Yeah.
I also like that you guys are judicious with where you glue down. Normally, the instinct is you want the face to really feel like almost like a, the mask that ladies put on their face to get your skin all nice. Like you want it really tight and form fitting. But if you are, my guess is that you're letting the silicone stretch and move.
Yes. Yeah.
That shows a lot of craft. And you're willing to engage in a little bit of risk.
Yeah, and one of the important things that I was discussing with some friends of mine is when you're designing mechanics, especially for a silicone puppet or just an animatronic in general, it is typical to add more extra movement to each aspect to account for silicone. Absorption.
Right. Because the silicone's going to take out a bunch of
it eats up a bunch of the movement, so accounting for that in the mechanics is really key. And so I did that with the ears, I did that with the lids, the mouth. Yeah.
Let's move some of the other limbs. Let's move his arms and take a look.
So
You're gonna,
arms are going to be these two switches, but now, so this is the left arm, the anatomical left. We just have a straight up servo on kind of the shoulder joint, just lifting it.
It's as vanilla as it could be right now.
Yeah.
Eventually, I'd like to have arms that could move and maybe even grab, and we have some molds we're playing with, but that's in the future. So right now, it's just about how can the arms be part of a walk cycle, right? And get his little gait going on.
Great. I just want to come back to one point.
Yeah,
please.
Again, I really, you guys are being too nice about this. You guys are. I'm sorry. There's a fully fleshed out character on your table that is the gag cells 360 degrees.
Man.
Just as a piece of sculpture, this thing is amazing.
I just want to, as an aside, say that fact has given me so much mad respect for the team that works on Grogu.
Absolutely.
It took so many days to get the face to just sit right.
Yeah.
So many tries, so many iterations, and I don't even know what they have to go through, but there's like no margin of error for them. It's like we had weeks to mess around with this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm still relatively new to all this. And
Yeah.
so getting the experience and the time to kind of nail it was really nice.
Yeah, like, I always divide, generally in TV work, like you divide by the fact that it shoots on Tuesday. And
Right. And you get done what you can get done.
Yeah.
We've been playing with this since last October.
But there is a moment, especially if you're doing mechanism design for something that has soft goods around it, where you kind of have to design the mechanism twice. Because as you've got in SolidWorks or as you've got it on your desk, it does everything that you want it to do, but it's very hard to anticipate how much dampening the soft goods are going to do.
Yep.
Do you guys have a plan for, do you anticipate that kind of dampening, or how would you plan?
So why don't you show him a little bit of the walk cycle?
Yes. So let's get him back into this phase. Bring the switch up.
Because this is where the fabric really comes into play.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So in this walk cycle, his wheels shuffle, right? And in the slow version, his arms don't really move, but right now we have it moving, and his head's kind of lopping to one side or the other, a little bit of spin, the eyes kind of twirl a little bit.
And that
It's a
head
mixture.
weight shift is really natural, right? It's heavy.
Yeah. Yeah, and you've got like enough slop in the motor where there's a little bit of lull to it.
Yeah. So
Also-
I'm just really curious, Shoop, of what you see as places for improvement or refinement. You know, the mixing has been really fun, but I'm also curious about places in which you've learned tricks and techniques about getting performance.
Okay. I'm really eager to get my hands on the controls.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
But I did spot one thing already.
Yeah.
And if you could let's show me the lever for this arm.
I believe it's going to be this. So
Yeah. Okay. So what I see is this. Show me again.
you're talking about this one?
I want to move this one.
Oh, sorry,
Yeah.
this one.
So So what I'm seeing here is there's a little bit of jitter, and you see the fabric pull.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
all.
That means you've got two things. You've got the fabric is binding there, and now your motor has to pull, which means that not only is it straining, there's going to be some excess heat here that the fabric isn't helping you with.
Yeah.
So I'd love to go in and maybe do a little surgery on this and just see what we can pull out.
Oh, totally.
Because my bet, not only is my guess that there's some extra fabric in there, depending on your shot, you can even open it up in the back.
Oh, where no one will
Where
see.
no one would see it, at least for
Right.
that shot. And the shot is king. You do
Yeah.
everything in service of what goes into the can. So if I really needed to do a scene where his arms were reaching up very specifically for that shot, I would even look at cutting some holes back
Right.
here,
Gotcha.
or other tweaks that are temporary that give us the full range of motion.
It makes sense that the cloak might not be optimized for movement because it's the Sideshow original cloak. It's for
right.
the purchasable Grogu 1-to-1. So let's take him off and see if we can't get a little better drape to his.
Yeah, let's
Just outer
turn them
garments.
off for now.
Oh,
as well.
sure, right. I'm always wanting to.
Sorry, I'm gonna get in here.
Yep.
There's a zipper, and then we have to undo his little collar right
Oh,
here
right,
because it's around the neck. Once we do that, we kind of have to move the arms out of his sleeves.
Oh, whoa. So your access is that easy?
Yeah, it takes a little while to get used to it, but that's the general gist of it. So this is the body, and it looks kind of chaotic.
Stop it. Stop it. Both of you. No more apologizing. This is magnificent.
Oh.
Okay, so
Yeah.
I'm just going to say, you keep me honest on what I see, but you've got heavy components at the base.
Yes.
You've got a nice strong metal base.
Mhm.
Excellent. So you're not going to get any warping there. And if there's any heat that's coming off of these, this will dissipate it nicely. Because you always need something to push against for motors, and the last thing you want is the battery case kicking off. Are you just running this off a drill battery?
Yeah, it's a trick I learned, but it's really simple.
That's so.
Yeah, we have a bunch back here, but essentially you can get like 5 or 6 batteries charged up, and then once this is like low, you can just pop it in.
That's
Yeah.
a studio kind of moment. That's a professional thing. They all do that.
That is brilliant.
I know.
Yeah, and I've done some safety. Like there's a fuse. Like I'm not doing this precariously. There's a little bit of safety involved, but
Great.
it drill battery goes in. We have a fuse, and it kind of goes in 2 different directions. 12 volts goes into this audio amplifier because there is audio in the system. It's not
Which
being
we haven't yet messed with very much at all.
but at some
That's
point.
your speaker there then.
Exactly.
Okay.
And then separately, the other 12 volts are going into a buck converter. So it converts it from 12 to 6 volts. And the 6 volts is what runs the servos.
Okay.
So it gets snaked all the way into this control board here. And it's a little bit of a rat's nest, but you can see kind of a stack of electronics. So up here is a Pololu Maestro. It's a commercial board that you can buy.
Okay.
And this one controls 24 servos. And then below it are 2 boards called the Kyber system, built by our friends Matt Hobbs and Stephane.
Oh, wow.
And essentially, it acts as the middleman between your RC receiver and the Maestro.
Okay.
So basically, it takes the signals that I send and interprets them in certain ways, and then sends it to the servos. But on top of the stack is that program I was talking about earlier, the one by my friends Stroud and Neal Hutchison.
Yeah.
So that is Kinesma. So Kinesma talks with Kyber 2 different names, yeah. And Kinesma adds all the really fun programming stuff that we can do with this animatronic, including the walk cycle you saw earlier, but also kind of the mixing you see in animation, which is something that we worked on,
Okay,
right?
so this thing is basically taking all the information through your software, which you showed me is so elegant and easy to move around. Normally, when we're animating stuff for the first time, we're kludging it together and we're moving little points in a way that we hope works. The fact that you guys have got an interface that allows you to see, correct me if I'm wrong, you can see the inputs that you're putting in and then how they come out.
You can see the curves and you can adjust them in an editor. It's really, and they've been very responsive to our needs because they're like working on this right now.
You know how hard this used to be.
I really do.
I'm a little mad. But like this is really impressive.
This is that economy of scale from FIRST Robotics, from Robot Wars, from computers on a chip, from the maker movement, all of that. And right now he's repeating cycling through just a breathing animation that we built. And this was the very first animation we built for him.
Yeah, and so actually right here, you can see a button pad, and these buttons are linked to animations that we animated several days ago. We record them, and essentially it records our input verbatim and allows us with a button press to show that exact.
I think this is my sneeze.
It might not. I think it might. Oh, which one did you press?
I pressed that one.
It's
not that one.
I think it's this one.
This
one.
Oh yeah.
Achoo! There we go.
Yeah.
that took about 40 minutes to get one that we liked, and it's not good enough.
And I did one where I believe he uses the Force. So yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Looks a little weird about the clip. Yeah, he brings out his hands.
Yeah. So, but you see how quickly this went without the fabric. So
right.
Obviously, we're getting some binding there.
Okay.
That we'd like to take a look at. Also, I'm sorry. Does this have little like 1970s wheel wells?
I hand hammered those because I was being fancy.
Just the idea that you've had the time to make this the way you like it is a gift.
I totally agree. No, I really, that to me is, I keep on mentioning to him, it's like, no, very rare to get this much time to just keep on refining and refine.
Can I try this out?
Yeah.
In this
Yeah,
form?
so let's see here. Let's get him out of animation mode.
Right.
I think his battery's low.
Oh.
So this is the fun part. Now we just get to remove
see,
this battery.
normally you'd call it 10.
Yeah.
Which usually becomes like a half an hour.
Yep. And we'll just pop back this battery in this charger. Sometimes there's a little bit of binding on the shoe. There we go. There we go. He's kind of lopsided right now. Let's bring him back to a more happy spot. And then we'll turn him on. It takes a second, as we know.
Yeah, for the little jolt.
It is
Little
a real
jolt.
jolt. I want that to be less of a jolt. Hey, wake up! Oh, I'm usually good at my timing.
Pretty close. So yeah, let's bring him back to kind of where he was before. And here you go.
Okay, so
So
there's nothing I can do on this that is going to break it. I can kind of
at the moment,
find my way.
all the controls are localized. There's no walk cycle at this.
Okay.
So if you control the right stick, that is gross head movement. And then with the pot spin, you get a little bit of the neck. There you go. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We rebuilt the
side
neck
eye.
3 times
Let me see what
just
I
to make sure he could look and make eye contact with you from the ground.
can- That's amazing.
Yeah. And then right now, the left stick is meant for the lids. So you have individual control over kind of where the lids are located.
Oh, whoa. Okay,
Yeah.
so up, down, and then you've got, your lower lids are, and you've got a lower lid open? My goodness. I love a lower lid. It gives you such a range of like
Truly.
expressions. Like,
No, you can give him stomach poisoning.
And then if you bring your pinky on this lever, you get a little mouth.
Yeah, there, sorry, yeah.
Wow. Okay, so I can.
This is a lot. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. But that's what you guys are intentionally building this around one
puppeteer. So you
puppeteer.
even have you've got the blink there on the switch.
And then the left lever is for ears. There you go. Yeah.
Oh, whoa. And so, okay, if we were in a situation where we were shooting with this rig and I wanted to say, hey, could we get the ears going faster up and slower down? Is that the kind of thing is that going to make you have a heart attack?
They'll take me about 10 seconds. So and here's why. At the moment, we're doing all the mixing on the radio side, so like curves and such. All I need to go do is basically go into our output, choose you wanted the ear pitch, was it?
My preference would be, so let's think of character mode. Like
Sure.
you guys have got a great rig here, like, but let's find ways to bake in a little character inherently. So if we've got ears up and down, to me, ears up would be a really quick motion. Like I'm really nervous or scared.
Gotcha.
Whereas,
But down might be slower.
Yeah, and you want to be able to have a little bit more time and control to emote. So
Gotcha.
could we make the ears go up fast and down slow?
Yes, we can. So in at least, this is a Free Sky radio.
Which, by the way, Free Sky supplied us with a couple of radios and tons of support for this.
That's great.
They were really awesome. I met them at a con last year, and they're like, "Can we help you out?" And I'm like, "Yes, you can." And they were super responsive.
And this is, is this touchscreen? So
this is touchscreen, yeah. So right now I have both.
No, I know. It used to be so hard. We were there matching little radio crystals. Do you have an RX 249 by 7.25? No!
Like the deal was like you could ask for something new, but you would go make an engineer sad.
Yeah.
Like that.
So right now, his up is a little slow, so you want to go faster. At the moment, I have it set to a 0.3 second kind of delay. So if I just reduce it down to 0 seconds.
Okay.
Yeah, so we're just going to have to mess with it until we kind of get the look that we want. There you go.
Okay.
So actually, I need to kind of reverse. We want it slower on the down, but faster on the up. So this is slow, but that's faster.
Great. Okay.
So there you go.
That's so that was on this one?
Yes, it is.
All right.
So slow on the down and then
So
fast
now,
on the up.
Mm-hmm. There's
Yeah.
sad guy.
Let me bring that.
I don't know. I didn't want dessert anyway.
And then,
Yeah, just jolts back. Yeah.
right, and so let me do that again. So that's down, and this is our wide open. So open. There we go. Okay. This is kind of cable pulling 101, but to make something move, you need to be pulling against something.
Right.
You need something that is holding the thing in place. So often you see, like on the Dark Crystal, they'd have these big sort of wooden blocks.
Yeah.
And they're pulling in one direction.
Yeah.
And then they're tying off the cable, so they've got that. It looks like you guys are using a pull.
Pull, yeah.
Pull. So the tension is already generated by the fact that both of these are at tension.
Yeah.
So that means you're constantly pulling, and then this thing is just going along for the ride.
Exactly, yeah.
So you had to really tension those up.
Yep.
This Matthew built this as a modified version of a sort of industry standard modular remote cable system.
That's great.
And it's using Spectraline, not wire anymore, right? And it's just like through a PTFE tube, you get a huge, just the lack of resistance sort of shocks me, having built a whole bunch of these kinds of things.
Yeah, and you really have to be dependent on these not slipping.
Yes.
We've all been there in a shot where the ear just keeps getting droopier and droopier and droopier, and then you have to go in and like wind it again.
Yeah, and you can readjust the tension with these little ferrules. So you can unscrew them and then pull them up, and to reintroduce tension, you lock them down, and then you're good to go.
Isn't that amazing?
However, I do see this. So Adam, if you can keep the head going.
Yeah.
One thing I'd like to point out is not only do we have a lot of excess in the cable, you can see as they're going that there's a little bit of pull. So if we can do just the head and no body.
Oh, sorry.
These are moving around a little. And generally, in my experience with cables, you want the shortest distance to what's being pulled, you want the straightest distance, and you want the least amount of resistance.
Gotcha.
So
Okay.
what we might want to try is either binding these down, or if so already I can feel the coil tense a little before it pulls.
Okay.
That means you're just losing a little bit of strength in your pull.
Oh, okay.
Honestly, for my style of stuff, which is usually pretty cute and adorable, having a little organic soft pull, a little delay makes it feel more natural.
Okay.
So
I have to
don't
say
think
the way the head ends up moving around the body feels really natural to me.
Yeah.
Right? Like, because its own weight is part of the physics of how this movement is happening.
Yeah, yeah, and that little kind of the head is naturally balancing, which is something that babies will do where they're still learning to hold their head up. This character is about 300 years old, so maybe he's
50 years old.
Oh,
yeah,
he's a newborn.
he's a baby. He's
Baby
but a
boy.
baby.
But that's really elegant. I would you can see how much these are flying up, so
Yeah.
I would look at some cable management around those.
Gotcha.
Maybe it's even down to some like PTFE sheet on the inside of this,
Maybe, yeah.
so that it has
yeah.
something to slide against.
Mhm.
Oh yeah, that makes perfect sense.
You know, not even PTFE sheet, maybe like a velvet, or not a velvet, like a satin or something.
Yeah. The other thing is, I'm guessing, or I'm hoping that when you guys made this, you put in some power mesh in the mold.
Yeah, so Nicholas put in some power mesh all around the silicone so it wouldn't tear,
Yes.
including the neck.
Okay, so that would allow you, if the neck skin is riding up at all, that would allow you to sew in a tab of whatever fabric you want, and that means that you could start doing runs either across or down, just almost like bungee cords that, or like
okay.
Oh wow! You threw that with a sickening thud.
That's a test. That's a test skin right there.
I cannot resist.
You can take the puppet out of the puppeteer's hand.
You can also see right here we didn't add any power mesh, so it's just tearing.
Does it have that little Frank Oz? Does he have an upper lip?
He does have an upper lip, so if we go to
yeah.
this mode and I twist it, you can, I think it's showing, right? There's a little bit of a, oh, that's not the right mode. Sorry, it's this one. Yeah, you can.
You've got an upper lip.
It's an upper lip. So I know typically mammals don't have a muscle in their upper lip, but because it's an animatronic, why not?
Well, and okay, so here's the way I look at this is sort of a happy accident or a found.
That's a monolithic print of the mechanics.
Great. So what you've done, just by virtue of the fact that you had the time and the space and the brains to put this in, so much for me of this character is based on Frank Oz, obviously. And if you look, Frank, the human hand does this really well. So Frank does a lot of. That's, right?
yeah.
And now you've got that option. So there's also, if I can get it,
here you go.
Can you give me a version of the mouth that has that I have control over that?
Oh yeah, so it's actually already in the mode. So you can use this and then this stick.
Okay, so you've got a lower, and then this one throws. Okay, and where's my
You're gonna use a twist for the upper lip.
twist?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Wow. Let me see.
It's so much fun putting the radio in front of someone who knows how to puppeteer. 'Cause
Yes,
I'm
truly,
so
I
very
know.
new, and so I'm learning all this stuff. But you can just kind of pick it up and know exactly how to handle it.
But look at the quality of these motors. Like, they're so small, and yet I can really,
Oh, that's
like,
crazy.
this kind of motion will read on camera.
Yeah.
And that gives you, then if you're here, it gives you the range to go to big.
Yeah, and you can see his teeth. He has a pair of chompers in there.
This is great. You're never going to get me out of here.
You can have as much time as you want, man. That's the best mouth puppeting that's happened yet with him, man.
This is a gift. You guys have really done something amazing. Mouth movement. And did I see, was there something going on in the brows as well?
Oh yeah, so I think is it this mode? It's subtle, but when I lift the lids, you can see a little bit of brow move. Is it registering right now?
A little bit. There it goes. Okay.
Yeah, so it's subtle, but I add a little brow paddle. You can actually see in the mechanics here. It's this little wing that's being actuated, and it just moves a little bit. It's not a lot, but when you move the lids, it adds a little bit more of an expression.
Adam, do you remember the days where we'd have to sit there and hog this out?
No.
The Dremel?
Yeah, no, you have to send it to the mold room. They slap clay on it. They slap clay on your mechanic to then mold over it and then send it back to you. They don't care about the clay. No, it's the interface between the soft and the hard and the electronic and the puppeteered was a nightmare. And now, like, it's not trivial, but shockingly more efficient.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the fact that we can actually visualize this with a 3D print is kind of crazy. I think at one point we were redesigning the neck because we were using like a little push rod mechanism. We figured out that wasn't quite what we were looking for.
Yeah.
I ended up going in CAD and I had literally the physical version of this in front of me with the visual one, the computer one, and I was figuring out the measurements just with this thing in front of me.
Oh, wow.
And it was like the perfect reference.
Take a look at how small the eyelid servos are in there. They're absolutely minuscule.
Oh, and you're baking in I love it when there's a physical representation
Of all the things.
of all the things.
What's hilarious is this print, it's not monolithic. it's just all the parts together, and because they're printed together, they semi-glue, but shit falls out of this occasionally.
The other thing is,
This is
what I see about this is okay, so the design, like, look how close to ET this is.
oh right, yeah.
I don't know if we want that in, but like
No, yeah,
the wide head, the big eyes,
yeah,
like,
yeah.
just like at its core, that
Pun not intended.
add that to the front.
All right, I'm going to hand you this to start to. Let's. I'm curious about how that it's going to.
He's so excited to get a new piece of clothing that's tailored to him.
Adam, can I ask my favorite questions?
Yeah.
Do you have an excellent pair of scissors and some thread?
Oh, yes, I
I
do.
thought you might.
They only say cloth or die.
All right, do I have your permission to?
Oh, please.
Okay, great.
Yeah. He's like, what are you doing with my clothing?
I know. We also had this moment, shoot, you'll appreciate this, where we rebuilt the neck, but we hadn't accommodated that in rebuilding it, it was now like a full 1.5 inches farther back. So it was back here.
Oh.
And then I came and added this, basically a nylon wedge to push it forward. And all of these problems we were having disappeared.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah.
Great. So what I'm gonna do here is before I do anything destructive, we know that this ratio of the cuff and the collar needs to stay.
Okay. Right.
So I'm gonna roll this up and just put in a couple tacks. So that means no matter what I do, the integrity of the design of the costume is gonna stay.
So it'll make sure that the collar still is where you want it to
Right.
be, and you can mess with the back.
Yeah.
Amazing.
It's puppet wrangling starts with do no harm. While I do this, can we see the walk cycle with
Oh yeah.
him
Yeah.
as
It's going to be a little slow on this table.
Oh wait. Let me just get you a piece of cardboard.
Oh, okay, great.
Yeah.
And maybe we might have to hold it down.
I don't
Just so-
think you will.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I can already tell that the
goodness.
anatomical left wheel
Yeah.
is not moving as much as the right one.
Okay. But all right.
It's funny how much movement the cloak absorbs. Because like when we were showing it
Yeah.
before, he was kind of all wrapped up and not moving as much. But without it, like he's just moving a ton.
It's amazing how much the fabric is just an X factor.
Eats performance.
We were working on the Broadway version of A Little Shop of Horrors,
Oh,
and so they need a really big Audrey 2 for
Yeah.
the payoff. Marty Robinson, who did the off-Broadway designs, was doing the Broadway. Like, we're in the room with some great minds, and we did a carbon shell for the pod,
Yeah.
make it as light as possible.
Right.
We put bungees on it so it's compliant.
Yep.
So happy, like everyone's in this thing, moving it around. This is so great. You can open it with a finger. And Marty was like, "Wait for the fabric," and we were like, "How? A t-shirt?" And it added easily like 35, 40 pounds to the point where everybody who's on the show had to do like weight training. Like it just
wow.
And it wasn't even thick. It's just over that surface area.
Right. It's a lot of friction, a combined amount.
Yeah.
Wow. I overdid the hair punching, by the way. I just want to announce to everyone, I know he has too much hair, but I figured go big and then I can scale it back. So I've been slowly like plucking hair out. Also, there's different amounts of hair depending upon which season of Mando you're looking at. Even probably depending on which scene, I'm going to guess.
He just went to Turkey for some hair transplants.
He's getting a regulation haircut right now.
Exactly. It was funny how much the application of hair was immediately like, oh, there he is.
Yeah, and I always love that moment when you're putting something together and like you know that you're on the right track, you know that you hit your marks. Yeah. But like the moment that the character pops and everyone kind of steps back and goes,
It's that thing that Gary Stroud was saying to us when we were painting the dinosaur. Was like there's a moment when you're standing in front of her where you make eye contact and you're like, oh wow.
Yeah.
I feel a thing is looking at me and it's not cool.
Yeah, and like the eyeballs in this guy are like so realistic looking. It's crazy.
The eyeballs are so pretty. Oh, hello, handsome. Yeah, you are very beautiful. Oh wait, can I get this to
You want to do the
that's
lids?
it. Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
That's what I want.
I hate to offer to restrict anything, but once the cloak's back on, I would love to take a look at the neck. I wonder if you don't want to reduce how far the neck turns.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Because he can go a little bit farther than, to me, what
Oh, really?
it feels like this machine has a little bit more range than what an anatomical neck would do. But
Okay.
Oh,
And
it's just a
That'll take seconds.
That, I love hearing that because I actually was been pushing for more neck movement.
Okay.
But like I really will take your note because
It's really fun to make these changes because, as I was saying, like it's pretty quick. Like I can increase the speed, I can adjust the curves, I can adjust the range of movement, the center of that movement really easily on that radio.
And what's beautiful about that system is because it's so easy to change, you're allowing for character design to happen after it's built.
Yeah.
You are adding or subtracting from the character in a way that services the story. And it's really rare because like once it's built and made, like usually it's just going to do what it's going to do.
Yeah.
And the fact that you guys can still tweak it is a real gift.
he's very, Lord knows, I have a bin full of the 3 other versions of him in its entirety, right?
I think you had him out all at one point and it just looked like a Grogu like circus.
It's not a Grogu circus. It's more like the Grogu abattoir. it's all flesh laid to the side.
I also love that you're using a flexible core. That's got to be really helpful to get the skins on and off.
Yes.
It's been amazing. Also, actually, I was able to practice hair punching using the correct core. So I knew what I was going to experience when I got there. So this is all my first pass at hair punching.
It's really funny. We grew this out of your nylon printer just for fun, and then it very much turned into, oh, this is useful.
Yeah,
we can use this for so much. Yeah.
And also, actually, it's everyone's question is, what does it look like in there? You can hand them this.
Yeah.
We actually should print up another one missing the last skull part.
Yes.
And then we can take a look at everything.
What I've done is, this is 2-layer, and what we want is we just want this to be as
Oh, wow. So there's 3 layers going on.
Yeah.
Liner, outer coat, and sleeve.
yeah, and that's
Too much.
And this one is designed to sit on a shelf like this. It's not designed to hang around the bush.
Right.
So all I'm doing is kind of building that back in. Am I allowed to talk directly to camera?
Of course.
Okay.
Yeah.
These humble, like, okay, come here, come with me. So that walk cycle there's no legs here. So what they've done is you are using not only individual wheel control, so he's going like this, so you're offsetting.
Yeah.
And then you're using the brake on these. Like, does the wheel stop or do you tell it to stop?
So I tell it to stop. The software that they create allows me to adjust the curves of when you're swinging your left foot and then contact and then right foot and contact. And then any of those phases can be adjusted in the temporal.
Great.
And then you can adjust the curve to ease out into a stop.
We call that in the business an awesome hack. And basically what you've done is you found a way to hack walking without, like if you weren't showing this, if people didn't see this or you weren't discussing it, everyone would think that there are 2 articulated legs on there. And instead, you've done it in a way that hides it, makes it physically walk, and gives it character as it goes. And I'm so mad at both of you.
Oh, so just to know, the wheels for walking came from another Grogu that I witnessed somebody else execute.
Okay.
What we added to that was all the other, the hip movement, the arm movement, the neck movement, all that commensurate with it.
It sells and you don't have to draw attention to it. And it's a very impressive.
Yeah, and at some point we're hoping to replace the servos with more silent ones.
We have some silent ones that don't turn enough, so we need to build basically tiny little 3-to-1 gearboxes for them. And that'll happen, but in a few weeks.
Yeah. But right now, it's
a nap.
Exactly. All right.
So let's see what happens. Let's see what kind of movement we get with just cutting this out. I didn't cut through the actual fabric, but this should give us...
Because also, by the way, for walk cycle, just so everyone understands, I'm happy to remove all of this fleece. Not that I want to, but I'm ready to if it is necessary, or maybe it's just that we pull it from some of the side darts.
Maybe. The fleece is definitely helping you with this Velcro, though. That's really smart to put.
Yes. Shall we turn them off to address them?
Let's turn them off and then get them clothed.
All right.
So you got left arm.
about that.
That's
I also, I really appreciate your compliments. I got to say, when I finally meet the members of the puppet crew on this guy, just the most mad respect for how much character they have built into that incredible thing and what they're able to get it to do.
yeah, and also respect to the production
Yes.
team to allow them to do it.
Yeah.
Because you're trying out a puppet. There's some things that are going to look amazing. There's some things that aren't, and what you really need is permission to try and fail.
You need
Because
Werner
it's-
Herzog on set going, shoot that puppet!
You cowards!
You cowards!
Yeah, but also, it is so easy, especially if you're working for something like Lucasfilm, where you say, let's just fix it in post. You've
Right?
got so many tools at your arsenal. So to allow this to really be...
Yeah, it really is.
Okay, so I'm going to make one other change to
Yeah,
this
yeah.
arm, if I may.
Yeah,
So this is armature wire on there.
there is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So forgive me, but I'm just going to put a little bit of it.
Oh, nice. Yeah. That's why it's armature wire, so
Okay,
we can
great.
mess with the positioning.
Don't insert a bone crack. Nothing happens.
Because part of our job as performers is to really take it off model, to Dutch it up a little so it looks organic.
Right.
So the fact that we can put a little catch in the elbow means that it's gonna just have a little bit more of a natural pose.
Good.
I'm going to have to sew Velcro into that outer rim.
Yeah.
It's time.
Yeah.
Because now we're getting into the way of it.
But let's
All
turn
right.
them on.
Yeah, let's. Hey, it's almost time to wake up. There we go.
There we go. Okay, so
Um,
let's move the arms, right? That's what we're
yeah.
doing? Okay. I think let's start with the left one because that's what we had before.
Yeah. Okay.
That was our base. And then this is the one you just modified, right?
He actually
both of
modified
them.
both
Actually.
of them.
them. Oh,
They're
yeah,
both-
great.
Yeah. Okay.
So let's see how that looks.
Oh, so much less movement over here.
Yeah. It's still pulling a little. So if I
Yep,
were
yep.
to, if we were on set and really needed the right shot, I would mess with it. But go ahead and give that guy. Yeah.
He's like,
Okay, that's better.
He's like, pick me up.
You know what? I really do think that we could pull out much of that fleece there, and that would make this instantly better.
Yeah, your note about maybe removing it, the thickness is helping you at the base,
Right.
but certainly now it's lifting less weight, and I'm guessing that is not only more responsive, but you can get more specific with the arm now.
Yeah.
Because the motor's not being overworked.
Because it was just tugging so much in this under area, but now I'm seeing it improved.
Yeah, look at that.
Look at that.
Great.
That's amazing.
What happens if I move his hip to the side? How does that look?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because his hips move opposite to his neck tilt.
Nice.
So he kind of does a little bit of a body adjustment.
Nice.
Gotta love
And
it.
I figured it'd be fun to add a switch that alternates the hip movement so he can kind of duck by a corner of a wall.
Yeah,
so he's
yeah,
peeking
Yeah,
through.
one of those
I think
Yeah.
that'd be really fun.
Yeah.
You want to run through a walking cycle again?
Yeah,
just
let's
check it
just
out.
see how that looks.
Come on.
It really feels like there's a guy moving in there.
Yeah.
Actually, I can even see that if we move this, it'll move more, and that'll give us a little more character out of it. Can we do it? Let's just do it.
Let's do it.
Fine.
Okay.
Let's turn him off.
Yeah. Sorry.
Oh, you're good.
All right.
So out of curiosity, how much is when it comes to the motors and the electronics, how much of it is off the shelf versus custom built?
So all these servos are off the shelf. They're of course a little bit more expensive than your basic hobbyist ones, but
It's about
these-
$1,000 worth of servos in there.
there's a lot of servos in there. But in size, specifically for the head, we chose really small ones. You can kind of see it here, but the servos that run the eyes are no bigger than a few beans, really.
Okay.
They're very small and powerful.
Okay. So you're not clutching.
that.
Yeah, these are
And that's
Chaz
high
servos.
torque.
Yeah, they're like $50 a pop, but they pack a punch.
So this is a Dynamix all?
No,
Oh.
these are just normal RC servo you can buy off the shelf.
It's all metal gears inside too.
So it's
Yeah,
It runs at 6 volts. You can go up to 7.4.
that's great.
I know.
And
Yeah.
you can hide those.
And so you can
anywhere.
see he's done this double stacking of them to get the pivot points to be as
Yeah.
close as possible.
I found this, I was recommended this really lovely manufacturer in Taiwan who produces clevises, really tiny clevises. And I took this clevis and I made it the pivot point for the eyes.
Yeah.
And they're pinned and then locked with a circlip, but the pins are 1.3 millimeters.
It's ridiculous.
And so I had to go into tweezers and carefully pin them. And then I lost 10 circlips because they're not even visible on my finger.
Yeah.
All right, here's what I'm feeling like I want to do. I want to cut through the fleece here at the underarm.
Yeah.
I feel like that's a bit of movement that I want. And then before I cut it away, I feel like I could just do like that and see what it does.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I've never been on I've done a bunch of animatronics, but only from the shop. I've never rigged them on set or had to operate them in situ. That particular time in the barrel hasn't been my pleasure.
Well, I learned that from working with the Muppet, Frank Oz, Kevin Clash, Marty Robinson, and one of the permissions that they have is to alter the puppet to get the shot. And so it means that as a builder, you really have to take an emotional step back because
you've got to get the shot, which means tearing off limbs, costume parts.
Yeah.
Stuff that never gets photographed.
But it's also it's one of the reasons why their work looks as good as it does is because they, rather than compromising, they will be proactive and they are already dressing for the shot in a way that the director wouldn't. Or
right. Wow. This is also my favorite. Like, obviously, the two of us know this thing so well that we barely have to talk about it. And I love those little knowledge bases that occur when you're collaborating.
Yeah. There we go. No, this is clearly a labor of love.
Dude, well, I mean, how can you be unhappy if Grogu is anywhere near your house? R2-D2 used to be my happiness machine, but I lent him.
So, Adam, what is what's the ideal or intended use case for this?
Mostly I have no idea. Okay. It's a platform for learning, for teaching, for talking about how amazing this art form is, how amazing the people who execute this art form is.
Yeah.
We've been playing around with film on the channel, with actual film. My cameraman, producer Joey Famelli has been playing around, and we have a 35 millimeter film camera.
Ooh.
So one of the things I'd like to do with that 35 millimeter film camera is shoot a cinematic shot with him, which I think will be very hard to get right? Like all of the things that entails. Long lens, good lighting, good contrast, great performance. I want to bring all those together for a day while we basically get a sort of animatronic film fantasy camp day.
And it's interesting that you mentioned that because the character looks so different depending on the scene in the show. Like the lighting changes the skin so much, the lens choice, it affects it so I couldn't tell you how many iterations of just looking at the eyes I had to go through because I'm assuming they use different lenses, focal lengths.
Right.
And it just messed with my mind. And I eventually kind of found the sweet spot. But there's a lot of artistic vision when actually shooting this character.
Yeah. And also you guys are, what I find striking about this is puppets are creatures of context. Like the Muppets are in the Muppet Theater. We are looking at this character. It's not on set. It's not on Dagobah. It's not on.
That's a significant improvement. Yeah, go ahead.
Oh,
sorry.
yeah. So the fact that this character sells as is without the context around is it just means that you guys have made a lot of really good strides in accuracy. Well, now how slow? Can you do a force raise? How slow?
Oh. Maybe I shouldn't throw that. I'm sorry.
No, you're okay.
Yeah,
So if he wants to pick me up, please, slowly raises his arms, that'd be fine.
Yeah.
And these aren't necessarily the final arm servos. There may be more subtlety that we're able to get out of this.
And I'm actually curious. I'm gonna adjust the timings.
A little bit slower?
Yeah, just a little slower. I think it helps. So I'm gonna actually adjust the slow up and slow down on both arms just to see if it makes a difference. And it might not. We'll see. That's the fun thing about mixing. You really don't know until you actually start trying it out.
Yeah.
So if I just move, let's do this one.
Yeah, a lot of chatter.
There's a lot of chatter. I think there's a little bit of flexing happening in the body, but that can easily be fixed.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Oh, yeah, I see.
Yeah, so it's causing a vibration.
So I even wonder if you couldn't, as you do that, you throw in a little tilt. So now the motor's working against the vibration. So it's kind of a...
Yeah, maybe
rather than just having it static.
Yeah, that's interesting. I think I can add that in, actually. Oh, I like to slow down. I'm going to just keep messing with that. That sounds great.
If I can tell a quick story, I was at a after like a rap party with a bunch of old Muppet people, new Muppet people, like the gang.
Yeah.
And it was right when the Phantom Menace was going into production. People knew that George Lucas was doing a thing, and Kathy Mullen, who played Yoda's right hand, was there, and somebody said like, "Are you excited? Do you think you'll go out?" And she's like, "What? They're not gonna call me." I'm like, I don't know anything about the movie. I don't know what they're shooting. And like, what are they gonna ask? They're asking me to raise the X-wing again. And she does it. She like puts her hand in the Yoda pose and starts to do it. And everyone in the party just was like, like everyone knew
Right.
which.
Right,
yeah.
we're seeing it.
Yeah.
Wow.
She still got it. She still got it.
That's beautiful.
So, sorry, this pose?
Yeah, maybe we could call the upper lip the Frank, and that's the Kathy Mullen.
Oh God, the eyes closed. It looks like so purposeful.
Yeah,
Dude.
Oh, and the slow reveal with the
Yeah.
eyes. Yeah, you guys have been busy.
It's really easy to record animation. It's just one button, start doing your thing, save it, put on a button, that's it.
Oh, so you can lay down something, and if you like it, just hit save.
Here's
exactly.
one. That's not a sad one, right?
Yeah, I don't remember.
No, I think this one has some good blinking in it. Here we go. Oh,
I
no, I
think
pushed it.
There you
There
go.
we go. It's a slow start. So this is me just trying to log in what I'm thinking of as breathing animations. Ideally, to me, something like this would be a baseline that you turn him on, and this is what he's doing.
Yeah.
He's looking around, he's thinking, he's breathing, he's kind of oscillating like a being does. And then that you can come in on top of that, and guys are going to give us this ability in the software to break through any of those channels and puppet on top of that.
Oh boy.
And that to me is where you could get some really like dynamic stuff out of him, out of just one controller.
So you could conceivably, so say you do a take that the director really likes, but he wants to change the line. You could keep all the other animations and then just redo the mouth.
I think you're right about that. I mean, I haven't been on set for any of the Grogu filming, but I would imagine that the 4 or 5 person team that operates him built a really terrific amount of clarity as to how to answer the director's needs, right? Yeah. Here and there, I'm looking at the camera, you're looking at this thing, we know how to support each other. And so I feel like the place that would be difficult for a director is give me a couple minutes to program that, as opposed to a puppeteer's like, here you go.
Yeah. Let
Right?
me give you another performance.
Yeah.
Different use cases.
Exactly. They're totally different use cases. But yeah, I do think that like you could build a breathing animation where he's just always around, and then you get, this is your low budget way of getting 5 puppeteers.
Yeah.
You had a really lovely idea. I'm sorry, I interrupted you.
No.
You had a really lovely idea about walk cycles and how you can bias an animation to go kind of left. So he's walking and then someone's to his left, and then you press the button and suddenly his entire body kind of biases in that direction to give perspective. I think you were suggesting something like that.
So
right?
the thought is, what you're getting with that keep alive breathing animation is also a bit of active listening. So the character is alert, engaged, but you can direct that. So if you were intending to do like a 2-shot, or like Adam, if you were doing a speech or a con appearance or something like that, and you knew that Grogu was going to be on your right, you could set up essentially a 2-shot keep alive where he's still looking around, but he's throwing his focus to you.
Mm-hmm.
So
right.
Because I feel a lot of what this character does is being observant, and being that he's smaller in stature, almost like a chihuahua on the street. They're always looking. It's not quite their world. And if you're next to him, I think he would inherently be looking at you for some sort of input.
Yeah. Dude, I can't thank you enough for coming by today. It's been very affirming hearing your assessment of our work. We've been so sort of, what do you call it? Like sequestered here without external feedback. It's delightful.
Thank you. First off, what a joy to see something that is clearly you've put so much love and work into, and also like so much great problem solving. Like this really represents like a really we've talked about a big phase change in terms of accessibility, the fact that there's programs that now can help you. Like, this makes me excited about making more things. So I really appreciate that.
I really appreciate that as well. Yeah,
course.
like that means a lot.
Yeah, and please, my thanks to everybody who's touched this. It's clearly
They all loved each part of
Exactly.
the amount of beautiful expertise here. And we have a comedy out we've written. Shall
Okay.
we? Are you ready?
okay.
Hey, Grogu. You want to lift Josh, the cameraman? Okay, good. Do it. Get ready, please.
Grogu, what are you doing?
Whoa! No!
Don't do it. No.
I really appreciate you watching all of that. And if you are pondering right now what to get for the maker, tinkerer, or general obsessive in your life, or what to get yourself, I'd like to humbly suggest our brand new Savage Industries Shop Apron. Its predecessor is one of the most popular things we have ever manufactured, and we are still selling them, but now we've added to it. We've simplified it, we've lowered the cost, and we've made an entry-level apron, still manufactured in the United States, still made of upcycled materials, and I swear this might become my new daily wear. Get yours today at adamsavage.com.